Greeting, Mr. President. My name is Saurabh Chamanara, and this is my 7th virtual audience with you. Mr. President, at my last audience with you, I briefly explained how Shia was invented by Iranian as an Islamic governance Protestant and how this Shia changed from its original form at 14 centuries ago to an evil Shia as we know in the last 40 years. The Islamic Constitution of Iran, which is written by Shia clergies, is only made for themselves to collect the wealth of the nation for their clans, spread the terror, and become dominant force in the region and as they wish and written in the Constitution in the world. We concluded the behavior of this regime will never ever changes unless the Constitution is changed. Let me be clear here. I never asked you to interfere with the Islamic Constitution of Iran. I know it is the law passed during President Johnson prohibit you of doing so. Our first request, as it is clearly written in the website of IranianAmerican.info, is for you to read Islamic Constitution of Iran and find out how this constitution is written with the direction of the axis of evil. Our second request was to sanction the Ayatollah's clans who have stolen some $500 billion of Iranian wealth during past 40 years and deposited that in the Western banks. As I am certain among these clans there will be many bin Laden type terrorists in the future. These wealthy Iranian families and clans of Ayatollahs may appear very friendly and pro-Western culture and even university professors, but at the bottom of their heart, they have given their pledge to the Shia Islamic Constitution of Iran and their beliefs. Sanctioning Ayatollahs at their 90s who never want to leave Iran and letting their relatives with millions of dollars freely living in the Western societies like others should be your concern. I do not want to abandon the subject of Shia Islam and Quran since this is one of the 4 pillars of the Iranian identities. I am the publisher of 3 versions of Quran, the first poetic translation of the Quran Chronicle and Quran Chronicle Persian. Although my profession is engineering, but I know a simple fact that Salman the Persian, by 2 tricks, fooled Iranian for centuries. First, by mixing Quran verses so that you won't be able to read it chronically and see the 23 years biography of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and distinguish between the Mecca verses and Medina verses. Number 2, forcing all occupied nation to read Quran in Arabic and not in their native language and make them not to understand what is in it. With the ignorance of the masses, the clergies in Iran case, the Ayatollahs are the only authority to interpret the verses of Quran as they wish. whereas Quran, as it is written in chapter Qamar, verses 17, is a simple book for your guidance. Therefore, if people in Iran read Quran in its chronicle form and in Persian, they will see the truth, and this pillar of Iranian identity will be discovered, and Ayatollahs will be disarmed with their false narrative which they have been preaching for centuries. It is hard to understand the axis of evil if one has not read Islamic Constitution of Iran, and how false narrative and false interpretation of the Quran has led the country into such a misery in the last 40 years. You need to know the perplexity of Iran by reading 100 pages of the book 2020, The Fall of Islamic State, as I have written 5 years ago. Easier than that is to visit www.iranianamerican.info and glance through the Islamic Constitution of Iran, not all of it, and only read sentences which has been marked red. You will see this is not a constitution. This is a crusade manifestation against United States by interpreting Quran the way Ayatollahs did 40 years ago. It brought misery to the people of Iran and brought and will bring terror to the people of the world. Thank you.